Cool stuff. Well, welcome back to the routine in the quarantine. Name change pending. This is your host Adam Glass, and I'm back on an extended interview with Mr. Morrissey. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing, sir?
Since the last time we spoke, like 10 minutes ago, I'm fine.
That's good. Good
Yeah.
things that things haven't changed.
No, well, I feel actually considerably happier because I've been graced by an awesome interview by an awesome person, but also that I also figured out how to download the videos off of Zoom
Oh, nice.
onto my phone so that I can edit it from the comfort of my pajamas while watching New Girl.
Nice.
Yep.
That's the way to go.
What's your favorite Netflix series?
I've been up on doing some Netflix series right now because we're in quarantine with the corona. So I've been watching a couple different ones. Like The Office is a big one that I binge watch all the time, and I have all.
That is a good one.
Yeah, I have all of it downloaded. That's what I watch all the time. I've watched a couple of the Walking Dead series.
Okay.
The storyline's kind of interesting. What else? Have you seen the Designated Survivor? I've seen all of those.
I watched the first season or the first half of the first season.
The first season is like the only good season. But
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Yeah, no, they're all right, but I think I like the Designated Survivor and The Office the most.
I heard it got really dirty.
It did. The third season was just like everything was good for the first and second season. Like it was all right. Like the first season was pretty cool, especially the first episode. That was really cool. And then the third season, it just got to like a lot of junk, you know?
Oh yeah. Because like it was a funny story. I was standing in line for Star Wars Episode 9 premiere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And there was this. I'm not gonna say old guy. He was probably in his 50s.
Elderly.
Just cripplingly elderly. Like should have been in a home. He was like 54. I don't know. But he was like, I was there for the first Star Wars. You know, what is up with people that age? Every time we talk about Star Wars, they always have to rub it in our face and say, I was there.
For like the first premiere.
And it's like, oh yeah, do you know anything about the extended universe?
Yeah. Have you read all the books?
Have you read all the books? You know, do you know anything about, you know? Yeah, I'm not super huge on the extended universe either, so I don't want to like embarrass myself by saying a name wrong or something. But I remember, Kyle Katarn is one of my favorite Star Wars characters.
Yeah. I know my response to everyone that's like that is when it was coming out when you were younger, like it wasn't popular. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They're like, haha, I was one of the first, and it was like, good for you. Okay, whatever. Anyways, they always have to rub it in your face. But anyways, he was doing that. And then for some reason, like he got on to, I think he was like, I'm just happy that I get to go to a movie where I get to take my kids or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And he was like, have you seen the show Designated Survivor? And I was like, well, I mean, I've seen a couple episodes. And he was like, it's so gross. It's like super dirty. There's like, it's horrible. And I was like, what? That show? Yeah, we're talking about the same show, right? And he was like, yeah, that show. The last season was really bad. I was like, okay. Well, I didn't really believe it, so I guess
the only problem with like bringing up the show on this podcast is I know you said you didn't really want to bring up politics, but the cool part about the show it was like they kept they say they kept in the middle ground because the guy that like the point of the show was, during the what do you call it, State of the Union, they have a Congress or whatever sit aside and they're the designated survivors. So if anything terrible happens where everyone dies, that's the new president. And that's what happened in the series is like everyone, like the bomb, like someone blew up the, whatever you call that place. And everyone died. And then that guy became president, but he was a registered independent. So they like,
I did see that episode. And I'm going to talk about politics. Like you can't not doing that. I will. It does come up a lot, and I'm a pretty opinionated guy. I haven't gotten to that in my podcast yet. I'm sure I will eventually.
Yeah, right.
But for now, so I don't mind talking talking about it. Like I said, I'll talk about it if that's the topic that comes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did watch some of the show. I saw that he was kind of like a centrist, didn't really lean either way,
Yeah,
you
yeah, that was
know.
the point. But he was very much a Democrat. Like if he was to be registered, he
Oh
was.
yeah,
But that, I mean, it
I'm
doesn't
sure it's
matter.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's you're not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna do Republican on
Yeah.
a TV show. No, no way.
No, but it was funny because the way that the timeline they brought it up, I think they said that Bush was the previous president, like this guy, or like the guy that died, the president that died.
Oh, I see.
So I
I
think
see.
that was the timeline. So they're just cutting out the last two presidents, like Barack Obama.
Gotcha. Yeah, have you? Okay, so I saw a movie. This is kind of funny. I saw a movie called The Hunt.
The
Have you
Hunt.
heard of it?
No.
Okay, so movie review time. Um, I saw it. It was like announced a couple of years ago or a year ago, where it was supposed to be about some conservatives who got kidnapped by some leftist elites,
Hmm.
and they don't have to be conservatives. They're just critics of these leftist elites, on Twitter or
Yeah.
whatever social media, and they were uh like kidnapped by these leftist elites and taken to like a farm where they're hunted like Hunger Games style, like
Right.
hunted by the leftist elites, and until they all die. And so the movie, was really controversial for a little bit, and it got canceled,
Really.
which is unfortunate. But it actually came back, and they decided to go ahead and make it because a lot of people wanted to see it for whatever. I mean, I couldn't imagine why somebody would want to see
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Um, but they did come out with it, and they did amazing marketing. Like I must say, the
Yeah.
marketing was fantastic because they were like, the movie you never got to see
Yeah.
is now coming out.
Yeah. Right.
And so
That's
it
cool.
was actually really good. They didn't really go too political per se.
Yeah.
They kind of did, but it was funny the way they did it. They kind of made fun of both
Yeah.
sides a little bit. Um, and it was really funny. There's this one scene where because they're definitely leftists. Like
Right.
the hunters are definitely leftists, and
Yeah.
whoever they
Yeah.
kidnapped are just people, you know,
Yeah. I'm sure you can
just
tell.
regular
Like,
people.
they don't
Yeah,
usually hide most of the movies.
exactly. And I want to get to some of the other things that you've watched, but just real quick, uh, there's this one part where there was like these two old people running a gas station, and the gas station was fake, and everything in the gas station. Well, this is a spoiler alert. So spoiler alert. Do you mind?
No. No. No.
Okay, okay. So spoiler
As long
alert.
as it's not
Everything.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Everything in the gas station is poisoned,
Oh,
and
really?
the people behind the counter have a shotgun, and they're just waiting for these people to like let down their guard.
Okay.
And after they kill everybody in the gas station, all the people they kidnapped, they're like, you know, one of them is feeling sorry. He's like, I feel sorry that I killed that person. Oh wait, no. They put out tear gas or whatever after, like, one of the guys ate something, and then they put out tear gas, and the two old people put on gas masks and pull out a shotgun, and they're like dying on the floor, and before he like blows his head off, he's like, global warming is real, and then he shoots him in the face. It was just like, wow, okay.
Okay. Whoa.
And like
That took a turn.
exactly, right, and one of the survivors was like, I own 7 guns. Okay, so you could definitely tell it was basically
Yeah.
like, yeah.
There was a difference.
So yeah, but like after he killed him, like the wife was like, I feel sorry for killing them, and the guy was like, he was they were probably terrible people, they probably said the N word. Okay.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
just like,
What a jump.
yeah.
I guess
it was it was really funny, but I had to, my brother
it
had to
kind of
pay
reminds me.
$20.
It kind
Go
of
ahead.
reminds me of this. I was watching. I have this so I don't usually use it, but there's this subscription. It's kind of like Netflix, but no one's heard of it. It's called PureFlex. So basically, they
Oh
have like,
yeah, I think I've heard of that.
have you? Okay. And basically it's like clean movies and stuff. mostly like Christian-oriented movies. But one of them on there, it was like a series. It was sort of like a Netflix series. It was like a original PureFlex series, and basically it was about this. It was like it was an apocalypse or something where just everything was going bad. It wasn't like zombies or anything. It was just everything was just kind of going downhill. And there was like a guy that used to be special ops or something, and he became like, I don't know, like a super fighter or whatever, and he used to be special ops. And then the whole point of it is like if you accept Christ or whatever, you go to heaven during the whole apocalypse. There's a couple. It was a pretty good series of shows. But the funny part was like the first episode was like the same situation where he was like going down the road and his car broke down, and like this is when he like everyone's figuring out that it's like, oh, it's like the apocalypse, like
Right.
everything, the rapture, everything's happening, the ascent of Christ or whatever is all happening. And he like driving down the road, gets out, goes into this it's like half gun store, half gas station kind of thing. And the owner of it was like a Christian, and he's kind of like sitting in there, and he's looking through just some stuff, trying to like decide what candy bar to buy or whatever. And then all these like bikers come up and like get into the gas station and like start like messing everyone up and like, hey, give us the money and stuff. And he like takes everyone down in like 5 seconds. And he's like,
Wow.
and he's like, he didn't even use a gun or anything. He just like, I don't know how he exactly did it, but he's he's special op trained. And yeah, and then he's like said something political at the end of it. He was like, yeah, you don't need guns to like
Oh yeah. Oh,
fight
okay.
whatever. And I'm like, well, that's a
Totally.
little unfair, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
you're actually trained to.
Hell no, you don't need guns if your hands are, classified as lethal weapons.
I got Timmy and Tommy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like Jack and Sledge, the Hammer Bros. I got that from a movie.
Oh, did
So
you?
yeah, that's from a movie. I forget what movie that's from. That's a stupid movie. But anyways, yeah. So other than that, like what other movies would you suggest we watch during this quarantine?
Living movies like other than Netflix or just
Well,
like
yeah, I
movies?
mean, like it doesn't have to be on Netflix. It can be on Netflix if that's what you want.
Um, I don't know. I've been watching, like I said, I think I said this earlier. I watched a couple of the Walking Dead series. It's been all right. I don't know. The stuff is really gory, and I don't
How far
know.
have you gotten into The Walking Dead?
I don't know what season I'm on. I think it's like season 4. So, but
Okay,
there's
so
9.
I stopped at season 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Like
So
what?
I think I watched a couple of episodes of season 4 and then I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because after
So
the governor died, I was just like, I'm good. They're just gonna keep making new bad guys,
yeah,
and they're gonna keep going. And I thought the governor was an awesome bad guy, my personal opinion. So I was like, I just don't need to see anymore. Like I feel like the story is done. These characters are done. I'm good, because I
yeah,
know that they're just gonna kill off everybody I love eventually. And I was like, I can just leave that. I don't need that in my life.
yeah.
So yeah.
But
Um.
I mean, the story took an interesting turn just because. I mean, if you don't mind me like spoiling
Oh, I
anything
don't
stuff,
care. No, it's
when
too much of it has already been spoiled for me already.
like after they have the whole thing happen and they go from the prison, like because it all got destroyed and whatever, and he died. They like are on the road for a long time, and they find this like really nice place to hang out. Like it was like an establishment where this lady was like the congressman of Ohio or something, like some district, and she and her husband was like an architect, and they built this like fortress with a bunch of houses in it, and it was like really
Right
nice.
on.
Yeah, so I was like, that is the way to go, and that's pretty much where I'm stopping. I think I'm not gonna watch the rest of it because it's kind of gotten to a point where it's just an
It's
excuse
like you
for.
can have a happy ending. You can just leave it in a happy ending. Because I
Oh,
know that the guy who plays Rick isn't in the show anymore, and I know that. Oh, you left. Okay, well I'll just keep talking. I know that the guy who plays Rick isn't in it anymore, and the guy who plays Daryl. Oh, there's only the one guy. What's his name?
like
Who's the
Daryl.
guy that everybody loves? Who's the guy that everybody loves with the crossbow?
Yeah, Daryl.
Daryl. Yeah, I thought wasn't Daryl Rick's son? Wait, what was his name?
No, no.
That's
Rick's son
Carl.
was
That's
Carl.
Carl.
Yeah,
They're all Daryl, Carl, Rick.
the Winter Kid.
Classic. Midwestern names.
Yeah,
It's all the same.
Carl.
Stereotypical.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, whoever wrote that show didn't know how to name people. It's fine.
I like the girl with the sword though. That was really cool. I was like, if I
Yeah,
was gonna
she's
do
cool.
an apocalypse, I was like, yeah, that's my choice of weapon.
Yeah, my
Right there.
friend Michael says that she is me. What's her name again? I forget all names.
Shakira.
It's
I
like
don't know.
Sharon,
Sharon.
Shakira,
Shakira. Yeah.
Bon Qui Qui. No, no, but I actually have. I don't know if you can see it, but no, you can't. I actually have a katana sword up there. Maybe I should show it on one of my episodes. I should show off all of my awesome weaponry on one of
Nice.
my podcasts. I have an AR-15. I have a Walther,
So you're
and
set for the apocalypse, basically.
yes, I'm ready for the apocalypse. At least
That,
a small version of it.
listen up, everybody. That's the man's house you want to be at when the apocalypse hits. You want to be at his house.
No, see, there was an old friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in years. His name was shout out Micah Snyder, and he had like 5 guns, like 3 handguns, and
Yeah.
like 50 different swords and axes and clubs and knives and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it was, he had enough stuff to arm a small militia. And honestly, like I just recently went to my friend Turner's house in Florida. I was in Florida 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Um, where do you like live? I want your exact address and location.
Ocala, Florida. Is
It's
that
like
suffice?
where is that near? I don't know where that is.
It's like an hour north of Orlando,
Okay,
Florida.
okay. So I actually went to, I don't know if you saw on Facebook or anything, but I actually went to Orlando Universal Studios
Like how
last week,
recently?
a couple
Oh,
weeks ago.
last week. Oh, really?
It was like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Why didn't you say hi?
I had no idea
Where I
that
live.
you were there.
Oh, really?
Like yeah, I knew you were in Florida somewhere. But there's a lot of
Somewhere.
people in Florida, believe it or not.
Florida's a big state.
It is actually a big state, but I like, I had a very limited budget. Actually, like my friend Michael went with me, and I'm going to talk about Michael a lot on this podcast. I know because like I've known him for like 8 years,
Yeah.
and he went with me. And his mom was just like, "Here's freaking like $900. Go spend it on whatever you want." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, for real."
My family had Disney passes this past year. Like they lapsed, so we can't use them anymore. But like for the past year, we had them, and they were really fun.
I want to go to Disney World next, but I'm going to be honest with you. I probably enjoyed Universal Studios more than I will enjoy going to Disney. Let me be honest.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, because like Jurassic Park was a dream come true for me. It really was.
Yeah,
Like,
that's nice.
like,
And I haven't been to what do you not Orlando. What's it called? Universal.
oh really? You should definitely go. The Harry Potter world was out of this world. It was so wizardy. It was great.
Hey, Mark's here. He wants to say hi.
Hey.
Well, hey Mark, welcome. Yeah, all my thousands of viewers are loving your guest appearance.
He says he loves his thousands of viewers. Say hi.
Say hi. Yeah, hi. Look, I got the RCLS.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. That is fantastic. Love
Thanks for
that.
joining us.
Indeed.
Anyway.
Thank you so much.
Other business to attend to, aka I'm gonna go to the shower.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
cool,
awesome. Indeed.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no, Universal was fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, and like I had a dream come true because I ate in the restaurant where the kid like eats all the Jello, and I looked around for Jello and I couldn't find any Jello at all.
Aw, darn.
Nope.
Maybe one
The
of those,
burger and fries and a drink was like $30.
Oh wow, jeez.
Yeah.
Like I know the one there's some different ones at Disney you can get, but we had like a discount for like $2. But they were always came to like $10 for just some food, Like
Yeah, well,
it was
I
like
got I got the souvenir cup that I could refill throughout the day, and that was $15, and then it was $15 for the burger and fries, which didn't really taste much better than actually, honestly, a quarter pounder at McDonald's tastes better than that. To be honest. Now let me tell you, Busch Gardens has good food.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing about well, not the biggest thing, but one of the many things I miss about Virginia was Busch Gardens, because I don't know if you know this or not, but we lived in Surrey, Virginia, which was across the river from Williamsburg, like
Mm,
this river. So there was a little ferry, and it was like the James River ferry boat that you'd have to take with your car and go across it. And it would take like half an hour to get across each time. But that's where we lived. And to get to Cap, like when we went to our celebratory meetings, we had to go to Newport News, which was like an hour and a half to 2 hours any way we went. Like, because you had
right.
the option of going around to the like Chesapeake and going across the bridge there, or using the ferry and going to Williamsburg and all
Right.
that. Yeah, Williamsburg, Virginia had Busch Gardens, and that was really, and I think that was the more, they actually have Busch Gardens here in Florida, but it's not as nice as the one in Virginia. I don't.
I've been to the Busch Gardens in Florida and Virginia. I've been to both.
Yeah, very good. Me too.
Yeah.
Kansas High.
It's basically the same park.
Yeah, well, it sort of is, but I think the one in Virginia is nicer just because, like,
It is. It is
they have a
nicer.
lot of ice. I don't know, but
Yes.
because the one in here, it feels like a desert.
It's Africa, and there's not a lot in Africa except animals and warlords. So, oh, there's also a lot of diamonds in Africa.
Diamonds?
There's a lot of gems
Oh,
in
is there?
Africa. Yes, that's why there are so many warlords.
That would make sense. That would add
Yeah,
up.
they like diamonds. Warlords like diamonds. But it's true. But yeah, no. I mean, they had the same They had some of the same roller coasters, like the Griffin here, in Virginia. The Griffin is a roller coaster that goes straight down in the beginning. It's pretty short, but it's really fast and intense.
That was a good one.
Yeah, but they have the exact same roller coaster there in the Florida
And
version.
I
And,
was
funny.
surprised.
Yeah, no. I mean, the funny thing about my trip down to Florida a couple of years ago when I actually went to Busch Gardens was that we actually got rained out. There was a storm, and we couldn't stay the whole day. So we spent like $200 on tickets to go to Busch Gardens, and I only got a couple hours to run around and ride on some rides, and then we had to leave. But they gave us tickets to go to the Virginia Busch Gardens, which
Okay.
I proceeded to lose in the
Oh,
following
really?
months. Yes, so I wasted a lot of money on that trip.
Darn.
Yeah, it really sucked.
That's what.
But yeah,
Florida
say what now? Say what?
That's where Florida is. You just waste all your money to come down here.
No.
You know, like,
Well,
that
let me
was
tell
like,
you, I spent every penny of that $900 and then some.
really.
Yes, it wasn't just Universal. We went to Shooters World in Tampa. If you ever get to go to Tampa, go to Shooters World because they have a bajillion guns. Like they have so many guns. And I was looking forward to shooting a Desert Eagle, but I didn't get the chance. They didn't have any ammo for it. So instead, we shot fully automatic AR-15, MP5,
Yeah.
AK-47. Yeah, so we shot a bunch of fully automatic guns,
That's cool.
and I actually have videos on my Instagram for that. It was a lot of fun. Okay, let me tell you that that AR-15 had a muzzle brake on it, and it slapped you in the face every time you shot it. With every round, it would slap you in the face. It cleared my sinuses. I will
I
not
haven't
lie.
done too much shooting, but like I remember doing shotgun shooting in scouts when I lived in Virginia, and we did our shotgun like award or whatever. You had to like shoot. That's the one that has the shot that like propels a bunch of like beads everywhere. To, like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what that one was, and we did the little clay doves. That's the only time I remember ever really doing a lot of shooting was in scouts.
Let
So
me tell you, shooting is a really, really fun thing to do. You just have to respect it. You have to be really careful because the way I like to put it is that guns are tools. They put holes in things, and you just have to know what you're putting a hole into. You have to be
yeah,
willing to put a hole into it before you use it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So when you put holes in people, that can be deadly.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
For sure. I went to a gun show here in Lynchburg where I got my AR-15, and there was a guy there who said that there was an accidental shooting at one gun show like forever ago, and it left a hole like this size in his calf, and it wasn't even like that big of a caliber, and it was pretty dangerous stuff. So that's why they zip tie all the guns now
Yeah.
at gun shows. So
Yeah.
you
That's
can't
smart.
do that anymore. Yeah, no, it's good thing.
That's good.
But that was kind of like ManCon. They didn't have just guns. They had swords and they had knives and they had cigars. I actually
I
got
want a
a bourbon.
sword.
Oh, you want a sword? Well, like
It's
I said,
out
I
of
have
the
a katana
blue,
sword.
but
You can always
yeah,
just
I'll just hop
borrow
over.
mine.
Yeah, I'll hop over. When the zombie apocalypse hits, I'll just be like, "Hey, yo, Adam,
Look,
can we get together?"
I'm using my katana. You can use my Nerf sword. How's
Okay,
that?
gotcha.
Does that
That'll
work?
work. That'll work. Yeah,
Okay, you use the Nerf sword. You can stun them with the hardcore Nerf foam, and then I will chop their head off.
we'll do. All right.
Awesome. That sounds like a great plan. Um, but you
Now we
should
have our
definitely go
plan.
shooting if you get the chance, because
Yeah,
shooting
I
is
will.
it
I'm gonna
is
look into
incredible.
it. I know there's some different places around here, and there were some events that we can go to in scouts and stuff and go shoot.
Yeah.
But
This is for us 21-year-olds, you young whippersnapper. But I actually got a bourbon cigar while I was there at the gun show. And like I remember when I first heard of my brother smoked a cigar once, and I was like, "What the heck are you doing smoking, you bad boy?" Right? And he was like, "You don't inhale cigar smoke, okay? You don't. It's not like a cigarette or like vaping
yeah,
or like anything like that. It's you don't. You just puff it." And so it's not nearly as dangerous. If you were to inhale it, you would like die instantly, basically.
yeah,
But you don't inhale it, and so it's not like the worst thing in the universe. So that's why I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. And it's actually not so bad. I only do it like once or twice a year, though. I try not to make a habit out of it,
yeah. Right.
for sure.
That's
Yeah, but
interesting. Like, oh yeah, I'm
yeah,
so.
it is interesting. Yeah, you're 16. You can't do that. I'm not giving you permission to do that.
Though
That's
I
not.
will tell you, like I said, I've lived in many different states in my life, just because my dad has job transfers all the time, and that's why we moved from Virginia, not because I wanted to, but because it's what
Gotcha.
happened. And one of the places I lived was Wisconsin. I lived in the village of Fairwater, Wisconsin, and
Oh,
they
you
call
live. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say you lived in a village?
I lived in a village.
Wow.
That's what it was classified as because it was a population of 123 people, and then we moved
No
over.
kidding.
No kidding. And it was an interesting place. Like we lived in a parsonage across from the church, and the village
Wow.
consisted of one bar. Or no, it consisted of two bars, a church, and there was like a food and grain processing facility. But it was an interesting place to live because apparently in Wisconsin, you can like drink at a younger age with your parents' consent, and like they're sitting next to you. And so we learned
Yes,
about
that's
that
true
law.
here too.
Yeah, we learned about
Actually.
that law, and I was sitting with my parents, and I remember them like, sounds good. um, and I remember sitting there with my parents, and they were having like some sort of drink, like it was like a sampler. And they're like, "Hey, Harvey, you want to try one?" And I was like, "I don't think I'm allowed to." And they're like, "Yeah, you are." And they explained it to me, and I was like, oh, "Okay, yeah, for sure." And so I tried it, and it's like soap, like alcohol.
Yeah, it's super gross. I tried have you ever tried LaCroix?
Mm, no.
Okay, okay, that's nice. Sorry. Um
No, I
so
got the same.
we're going on 40 minutes on this call, so probably need to wrap it up. But
Yeah.
LaCroix is like a seltzer water. It's like
Mm,
carbonated water flavored. And I tried a Corona beer while I was in South Carolina a few weeks ago,
living
and
dangerous.
I just sipped it. Like I only took one sip because I don't really do alcohol that much, like
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Um, I think I've had alcohol like 3 times in my life, and they were all just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not really crazy. So I went ahead and decided to sip it, and just simply because of the Rona, because it
Yeah.
shares the same name, and I was like, might as well. And it tasted like a LaCroix. It tasted like seltzer water,
Okay.
which is would normally be pretty gross, but since I had tried so many LaCroix at that point, I was like, I guess I'm kind of already used to it, so it
Yeah.
didn't really bother me. But a lot of people say it tastes like pee.
I'm not going to disagree. I think I've had more alcohol through like absorbing um, hand sanitizer like through my skin than I have through my mouth.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's the case as well with me. Yes.
So
I'm pretty sure, especially over the past few weeks with all the Runa. Yeah, for sure. Well, man, this has been an awesome conversation. What did we talk about? We talked about movies. Okay. We talked about, well, we talked about movies. We talked about guns. We talked about theme parks. We talked about cigars and alcohol. Like, this is some manly stuff. I'm not gonna lie. We're talking about some seriously manly stuff. Well, I really appreciate it. I think this will be a very interesting conversation for a lot of people. Before we leave, though, since I know that this is getting long, but I just want to talk about Wilmington real quick. Or do you want to save that for another day when you come back?
You want to save it for a special? We should have. We could probably get like, I don't know.
Oh my gosh! What if we got all the old guys back?
We could get the gang together. We could do like a call.
And then we could talk. Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
Because I know.
Okay, so for those of you
in the past, where they can like, from one camera to another while we're on here. So
heck
yeah, we should do that.
We should. I'm gonna reach out and see if we can do that.
Yeah, because it would be boring if we just talked about it. But we got to get like, the whole gang back together. And,
yeah. I wonder if it would, because I know that Noah Bate, he's in tech school right now and he's leaving on Monday or Tuesday. So maybe we can do that over the next few days.
Yeah, maybe we get an hour of everyone's time together and just like sit down.
Yeah, just get an hour of everybody. That would be awesome. I'm gonna see and make that happen. For those of you who don't know, Wilmington was what was it? Hurricane. What was the hurricane? Florence. Hurricane Florence struck it was 2 years ago. And we were all on the response. Me and Harvey were on the response team for emergency services and civil air patrol, and we had a lot of fun experiences there. So I'm gonna reach out and see if I can get some people, and we can have like a group call and do a podcast. Yeah. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would
all right.
Be
well,
really
thank you
cool.
so much. Thank you so much, Harvey, for coming on for an extended. Say what now?
All right.
Yes, absolutely. And I love the shades. I love the shades.
Appreciate that. Unlike the Men in Black, they're cooler.
Way cooler. Like, oh my God, way cooler. Okay, well, thank you so much, Harvey, for coming on, and we'll see about that other Wilmington episode. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, thanks. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording now.